Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert's Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, we are at NASCAR Cup Series season preview playoff prediction show. So I've already done the Cup Series, the Xfinity and the Truck Series. I've done the preview for both of those races. Following this, we'll have the preview for the 2022 Daytona 500. Okay, we have 36 races, 36 charters, 32 full-time teams, 16 playoff spots. So half the full-time teams will make the playoffs. Now we have some non-charter teams. There are this year some of the charter teams actually are running multiple drivers. So we have Hendrick, 4-car team. We all know those 4 drivers. JTG Doherty has a single-car team. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Colic Racing has the 2 2 The number 31 full season with Justin Haley. The number 16 will be three-headed monster. We have two Colic Xfinity drivers, and then Noah Gragson. We have Daniel Hemrick driving 8 races in the 16, including the Daytona 500. AJ Allmendinger 14, and then Noah Gragson 14. Noah Gragson is in the 500, but he's driving for Beard Motorsports number 62. They typically run just the restrictor plate races. Used to be Brendan Gaughan. Now it's kind of Noah Gragson taking over that. And then we got Ty Dillon, Eric Jones, and Petty GMS. Richard Childress has his 2. Austin Dillon in the 3. Tyler Reddick in the 8. Spire, Corey LaJoie full-time. Then the 77 has a charter, but it's going to be split between Landon Castle for 11 races. Josh Balicki for 25. Landon Castle does have the Daytona 500. Trackhouse with them buying Chip Ganassi Racing. They had the 2 charters now. The number 1 for Ross Chastain, the number 99 for Daniel Suarez. Front Row Motorsports has their 2 charters. The defending Daytona 500 champion Michael McDowell, and then rookie Todd Gilliland. Now the Truck Series team they have for Zane Smith just won last night. So in the Loves paint scheme. So yeah, Front Row's already got to win this weekend. So live fast. Right now, BG McLeod is listed as the only driver, but there's his TBA. Then we have RFK Racing, Brett Keselowski, and Chris Buescher. We know how fast those Fords are. They won both duels on Thursday. I'm still curious why they confiscated the rims and what that's going to entail. Apparently nothing for Daytona penalty-wise, so we'll see what happens. And then Rick Ware has his 2 charters. The 15, multiple drivers. David Reagan for the 500. Ryan Preece will be a couple races, which I'm excited to see. And then Cody Ware. I think Rick Ware this year, with having the technical alliance with Stewart-Haas, I think they're actually going to be better than they were last year. And that's the thing. Some of these charters, I guess, if you finish 2 out of the 3 seasons, out of the last 3 seasons, in the bottom 2, NASCAR can take the charter. I don't know. I'm kind of confused on how all that works because some of these charters have been sold, leased, etc. So we'll see if there's any charters affected by that. Stewart-Haas has their 4: Harvick, Almirola, Briscoe, and Cole. Team Penske looks a little different with the rookie Austin Cindric in the Deuce, and then Blaney and Logano returning. And then Harrison Burton is in the Wood Brothers, which technically the Wood Brothers is a 4th Team Penske car. It is done out of the Penske shop, but it still says the Wood Brothers on the 21. And then 2311, we have the 2 charters this year, which is great. Bubba Wallace, Kurt Busch. I think both of those are going to have great seasons. And then Joe Gibbs for Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Martin Truex, Christopher Bell. Now, if we look at the non-charter, obviously Beard Motorsports and Noah Gragson had to qualify in. The Money Racing team with the number 50, owned by Floyd Money Mayweather. Kaz Grala did make the 500. Tony Ure Jr. is a crew chief. I don't know what their plans are for other races, but I think making the show at the 500, I think Kaz Grala is a good speedway racer. He's won in the Truck Series at Daytona. Not that they're going to win, but a top 30 might look good for them to move on this year. Same way with New York Racing Team. Their return is the first race since 2018. The number 44 with Greg Biffle. Don't know what their plans are beyond Daytona, but a good top 30. With the Bev driving, they should, they made the field in the qualifying race, so we'll see what happens. And then we have Team Hesburg, powered by Riem Brothers Racing. Loris Hesmans, he is actually a two-time NASCAR Euro Whelen Euro champion, the Euro Series for NASCAR. 24-year-old kid. He's been doing some stuff in the Xfinity Series over the last couple of years. And then Jacques Villeneuve actually qualified the car at Daytona. He's going to run at least Daytona, if not a few other races. So I'm excited to see what that team can do. I know MBM Motorsports, the 55 of J.J. Yeley, and then the 66 of Timmy Hill are the only two that missed the 500 that were there, qualifying 42. Bad for them, but, we'll see where, with 40 starters, somebody's got to go home when there's multiple cars there. Now, our rookie class here in 2022 is going to be Austin Cindric in the number 2 Penske, then Harrison Burton in the number 21 Wood Brothers. Harrison Burton will be the 26th driver in the Wood Brothers modern era history, which is since 1972. So to get a chance to drive that famed 21 car, I mean, that kid's got to be on the moon. The last time that the Wood Brothers brought a rookie to Daytona who was making their second start, they won. Then 2011 Daytona 500 with Trevor Bayne. When Trevor won that was his second ever NASCAR Cup Series start. This is Harrison Burton's second ever NASCAR Cup Series start. Maybe that might play a role when I do my picks. We'll see. I love cool stories like that, like Austin Dillon. He won in the 3 car exactly 20 years after Dale won in the 3 car. Is that a sign? I don't know. The tea leaves are going to be out. And then also rookie Todd Gilliland. If I had to pick a rookie of the year out of those 3, it's Austin Cindric, hands down. He's in the deuce. I mean, that's one of the most iconic cars in NASCAR. The number 2 for Penske. You got to figure who's driven that car recently. Well, let's see. Rusty Wallace, Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski, now Austin Cindric. Yeah. Another cool factor that all these have in common is Austin Cindric's dad, Tim Cindric, actually is a VP at Penske. Harrison Burton, second generation. He is Jeff Burton's son. Todd Gilliland, third generation. His dad, David Gilliland, and then his grandfather, Butch Gilliland, who was a longtime Winston West champion. He ran in the Cup Series some. When I look through who is going to make the playoffs, wow, there's so many teams that are capable of it, but who's actually going to be in it? I have 7 drivers here that I think are people that in the right circumstance can make the playoffs, but I think they're on the outside looking in 2022. That's going to be Austin Dillon in the 3. I actually think his teammate's a little bit better. I could be shocked he can go out and win the 500 and make the playoffs, and I could be stupid. But I don't think he's a playoff team. Austin Cindric at number 2. With so many good teams there are, maybe with the new car, Penske, and being he didn't really drive. He drove a few races in the old car, but not many. But I think unless somebody falls out or something unique happens, he's kind of on the outside. This was hard for me actually. This one here, Chris Buescher in number 17. As good as he ran in the qualifying race, I don't know if he's going to have great finishes and not do something and get taken out in some of the big races. And then Trackhouse. I'd love to see both of their cars make it. I don't think they will. I think they're going to be on the outside looking in. But again, I would not be shocked if these guys grabbed a win and was able to make it. Daniel Suarez in the 99, Ross Chastain in the number 1. I mean, Suarez could obviously win Bristol in the dirt. He did great there last year. Road course racer. Chastain, I mean, he's won another series. Justin Haley in the 31, Colic Racing. Colic they're building a program. They got some great Xfinity teams. I think they're building a Cup program. They're going to have the 3 drivers in the 16 this year. Honestly, I think they're good enough to win races. Justin Haley, yes, he won Daytona in the Spire number 77, but that was rain shortened. I know Bubba Wallace won a rain shortened. I know. I'm not saying he can't win. I'm saying I don't think he will. Again, there's so many unknowns here in 2022. It's a new car. No one really knows what's going to happen. We saw what happened at the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum. if you've checked out my preview, Joey Logano. Yeah, I picked that. I called that. You know, I mean, I'm right about less than half the time if you watch me in the past, but you know what? I have fun doing this, so I don't mind being wrong half the time. Because if I'm wrong and I pick the favorites, that means it's something out of nowhere. And then Chase Briscoe in the 14. He ran so well in road courses last year. He almost won at Indy. Yeah, if he would have, you know, ran off the track and then got mad and punted Denny Hamlin out of the way. Yeah, got black flag for it all. But yeah, so my 16 drivers that make the 2022 playoffs, my prediction. Kyle Larson, no big surprise there, I know. Chase Elliott, William Byron, Alex Bowman, obviously Hendrick, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Christopher Bell. I got all Hendrick in. I got all Joe Gibbs in. Kevin Harvick, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano. So I got 2 out of the 3 Penske cars. Only 1 Stuart Haas. Intriguing. I know Eric Almirola won New Hampshire last year, but it's like he had 1 good race. Yeah, he could do that this year. Have 1 good race, make the playoffs again. We'll see. But and then Brad Keselowski in the number 6. I actually think he's going to make RFK Racing just the next level and get into the playoffs. And then I actually have both 2311 cars in the playoffs. Bubba Wallace and Kurt Busch. I think Bubba's grown. He's gotten better. He's listening to Kurt. He's listening to Denny. I think it's going to be, those Toyotas are going to be able to team up and get into playoffs. And then I have Tyler Reddick, the number 8. I have him returning in the playoffs. This one's kind of a, I want it to happen because of because of the team. But I think it would be a surprise if it happened, but I think it could happen. The number 43, Petty GMS, Eric Jones. I'm super excited to see what Petty GMS does. Never been a big Ty Dillon fan before, a big Eric Jones fan, but it's like, I know Eric Jones has won in the Cup Series. He's won in Truck Series, Xfinity. Ty Dillon's won in the Xfinity Series. Can Ty Dillon win in the Cup Series? I know he was in an team before with GMS and Petty, and they got sponsorship, and they got a partnership with RCR. If RCR is kind of on their way back, it could be a fun season. I like my kind of surprise pick there to make the playoffs, Eric Jones. I will say in the last 2 years, maybe 3 years, I am 14 of 16 in my playoff predictions, so I'm kind of pretty proud of that. So there's always a couple, you know, like last year, McDowell and Christopher Bell never would have thought they would have made it. The first 2 wins off, bam, bam. We could have a surprise win Daytona and blow this all up, you know. We could have, you know, somebody we didn't expect to win, and Cody Ware could win. And be like, now what? You know, kind of deal. But all right, that is going to be the NASCAR Cup Series preview and playoff prediction. Stay tuned for the Daytona 500 preview. Check out the Xfinity Series and Truck Series playoff prediction show as well. As always, thanks for watching the Robert Sports Show. Don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.